Hi everyone, Salesforce admin training, day 10. Let's see what we are going to learn today. We'll quickly go through the previous session overview and then we will talk about the lookup filter configuration and we'll see the use case and navigation steps. And also we'll see the self-relationship and master detail relationship. What are the observations of the master detail relationship? And then we'll see what is the differences between the lookup and master detail relationship. And if I wanted to convert the lookup to the master, how can we convert it? And then we'll have an interview questions and try ahead. Now, what did we learn in last session?
Lookup relationship and use case.
Right. We have seen the lookup in the use case, and also we have seen the lookup dialog, how to set up the lookup dialog configuration. Right, so basically if I go to the position object, and in the position object, this is a child object. From this child we are looking at the parent object. Now for example, we have a hiring manager. Now here we have a location. The location is multi-select. Let's say in the hiring manager also we have a location field. We have a location field which is a pick list. Here it is a pick list, and then I have a position object which is a multi pick list. And what I'll do is on the position object, I'll update this to the multi pick list to the pick list. I'll just change from the multi pick list to the pick list. Let's go to the field. And here we are looking for the location. Change the field type. Edit. Click on it, change field type. When we click on this change field type, from multi pick list to the pick list, I'm changing it. Click on the next button. And location, yes, these are the one. Oh, that's okay. Click on the save. We are not changing any pick list values as it is already not having the pick list values. Now, if I go to the position object, click on the refresh. Now let's assume that if I select a location, Hyderabad, only Hyderabad related managers should display here. What are the hiring managers are there? It should, right now what is happening, it is displaying all the hiring manager details. How many hiring managers we have? We have it. If I go to the hiring manager, that is a recently viewed, click on the all. So we have a 2 records. So it is showing all the records, all the records. Now I do not want to see all the records of the hiring manager. Basically what I want is based on the selection of this pick list, based on the selection of this location pick list, show me the hiring manager. That means if I select, here we have a hiring manager name. Let's say select fields to display, and I'm selecting the location here. No, If I select a Hyderabad, Shivani should be shown. Right now, what is happening, whether I select a Hyderabad or Mumbai, both the times it is displaying both the field. Hiring manager records, it is displaying it. Now, based on the selection of location, now if I select a Hyderabad, it should show only Hyderabad related hiring manager. That means Shivani should be displayed because hiring manager Hyderabad is only Shivani is there. But in case if you want that kind of a functionality to be implemented, then we have to go for a lookup filter configuration. Lookup filter configuration. That means while creating the child record, when you click on the lookup icon, it will populate the parent record inside the lookup dialog, right? So in the child object, when I click on the parent lookup icon, it is populating the lookup dialog. So this lookup dialog, whatever the values that it is displaying here, we can restrict the visibility of all the records instead of showing all the records. For example, I'm going to create another record. Click on this clone. Let's open this Shivani. And let's say clone it. Let's say I'm going to take Hari is the another person who is the Hyderabad only. Click on the same. Now, if I refresh the record, I can see all three records in the parent object lookup dialog. It is displaying all three. But I want only whenever the location is selected, based on the selection of location, show me the related hiring manager details, right? Related hiring manager details. So by using the lookup filter configuration, we can restrict the visibility of all the records in the lookup dialog. How can we do it? By adding there is a user defined conditions. We have to put it onto the lookup filter. With the help of lookup filter, we can restrict the visibility here, which record should visible, on what basis the record should be visible here. So that means while loading itself. So as soon as I click on here Hyderabad, and if I click on this, while loading itself, the record in the lookup dialog, it will populate only those records which match the criteria. So that means match the criteria is nothing but here. I'm going to take it. We have it. This is the position location. So position dot location. If it is equal to hiring manager dot location. If both the locations are matching, then only show me the records in the hiring manager. Then only show me the records on the hiring manager. So if we want this kind of a functionality, then we have to go with the lookup filter configuration. Lookup filter configuration. So take a notes of it. Let me know once it is done. Okay, so let's see the use case of it. Now the use case is configure the lookup filter on the position object to represent only those hiring manager records in the lookup dialog. Now who are working in the same location as a position, then we have to show that. That means position location equal to hiring manager location. Now let's go ahead and see. Now go to the position object. Wherever the lookup filter is there, click on this lookup filter. Right, so navigation steps are, you need to go to the child object and then click on the fields and relationship link. Go to the lookup relationship field, which are the lookup relationship field you wanted to create a lookup filter. Go to that particular lookup relationship field and then go to the lookup filter settings section. Now this is lookup filter, right? This is the data type. Now here we have something called lookup filter. This is lookup filter. So you need to go to that section, click on the edit button and then go to the lookup filter. In this session, now specify the filter condition based on the required. That means I need to provide the so I need to provide the current record is a position. Inside the position, I have a location equal to. We have a different operators here. Equal to, not equal to, contains, does not contain, starts with all these operators we have. Let's say equals, value is. Now you need to specify. Now here, instead of specifying that, what I'm going to do is, instead of specifying the value, now let's say is contains. Now equals to field. Instead of a value, I'm going to say field here, field of hiring manager location. So position location equals field hiring manager location. Hiring manager location, and filter criteria is a required. It has to be a required, and then here active. It should be active. Then only it will work. Otherwise, it will not work. So you need to create a what are the condition is there in this here condition is position location equal to the field is hiring manager location. That is the condition I am applying it and activate it. Click on save. Now if I go to this object position record, let's refresh. Now here, let's click on this. Now clear. Now I'm not able to see any hiring manager because location is not selected. If I select a location, Hyderabad, then it is going to show me only 2 records. If I click on this Mumbai, then it is going to show me only 1 record. If I click on a Bangalore, then no records will be displayed. No records will be displayed because Bangalore, we do not have anything in the hiring manager which says Bangalore. We just have a Hyderabad 2 record, Mumbai 1 record. So here it is not, it is just going to display Bangalore, nothing is there. Now if you want to create it, you can click on this new hiring manager, you can create it. If I select a Mumbai, then it is going to display the 1 record. If I say Hyderabad, it is going to display the 2 records. So like this, we have to select the matching the filter criteria. So based on the whatever the location field value is there, based on that, I'm going to pull the records of the matching records. So that is what lookup filter. So lookup filter, use the lookup filter in case if you wanted to get the record based on the certain value in the child. Then you can go ahead and get that particular record. That's about the lookup relationship. Then we have a self-relationship. The next one is a self-relationship. Now take a notes of this, then we will go to the self-relationship. Done. Now next one is self-relationship. So for whatever we have discussed between the two objects, here one object and here another object, right? This is the object 1 and this is object 2. Based on the scenario, we are making the one of the object as a parent and another object is a child. Now we have implemented the relationship between these two objects. Either it is a lookup relationship or master data relationship. Or master detail relationship. Master detail relationship. Now, but there is sometimes what happens is you don't need to talk to another object. There is sometimes what happens is it has to depend on its own. This is the object 1. Object 1 has to look for a object 1 record only. That means child is the same object, parent is also the same object. Child and parent both are same object. Child and parent both are the same object. Now let's take a scenario. Scenario is in the institute. Let's assume that in the institute, for suppose the person like the training. Now let's assume that the person name is Lakshmi. So let's take a Lakshmi. So Lakshmi like the training in the institute. So what she did is one of her friend. Let's assume that her friend name is let's say Swati. So she referred to take a training in this institute. Right? So institute is Swapna IT. She liked it. So Lakshmi liked it, Swapna IT Institute, and she referred Swati also. So that means when Lakshmi came to the institute, we have created a record inside the Salesforce as a contact. We have created the contact record where the name is a Lakshmi, right? No, either let's say account. Let's take it as a person account. So account is created Lakshmi. Now when Lakshmi reports Swati, we have to create a record inside the Salesforce. So while creating the record inside the Salesforce, inside the account, we will ask who has reported you. Did anybody report you in the institute, or you came from different ways, or anybody has given a suggestion to join here? So that means then she is going to tell that Lakshmi is the reference that she has given. That means I have a one account. I have a one account. Inside this one account, I have a one record is a Lakshmi record, another record is a Swati record. One is Lakshmi record, another one is a Swati record. Now here, Lakshmi record is already created, but when Swati record is created, that time even we need to understand how she came. So we need to link, okay, Swati, Lakshmi record the Swati, or Swati came as a with the reference of Lakshmi. So we need to have a lookup inside this self-relationship. This also happens in the company. For example, Lakshmi is working in the Dell company. Okay, so there is a position open in the Dell company. So internally, the Dell company internally suggested the employers that you can report some members so that we can hire the members. So Lakshmi did report the Swati. So when she report the Swati, so Swati, whenever she is putting a resume, she has to put a reference of Lakshmi. That means the object is the same. Object is the employee object. Object is employee object. In this employee object, if the person is coming with the reference, if the person is coming with the reference, then we need to have a self-relationship within this. So while creating an employee Swati record, we will say that, okay, reference of the Lakshmi. So that in future also, if I wanted to see Lakshmi, how many members she has record in the company. So there will be a budget will be allocated for if there is any difference. So usually company will provide a budget to the employees. So they have to check in this month or in this year, how many members she report in the company. So, and if they have already selected, if they are selected, then company is going to run a report and see that if Swati is selected in the Dell company, so then they are going to run a report, okay, run the employee where the reference says Lakshmi. So only those records we are going to get it. One record or two record or 10 records might be any record. So based on the reference, then we can identify. So whenever we wanted to have a self-link within the same object, self-link within the same object, that is called as a self-relationship. Self-relationship. So a self-relationship is a lookup relationship for the same object. Now, if you go to the account, now here you have a, let's go to the client. Now here you have a client's object. Inside this client's object, you have a parent client. This is the child client, and then other one which we have a parent client. Right? Parent client is the same record you need to have. For example, I'm searching here parent record. If I go to the Swapna ID, click on save. If I see the hierarchy, Swapna IT is the parent. Within that, we have a child Infosys. Child Infosys. This is a self-relationship. This is self-relationship. So, for example, we have a field on account. That is a parent account. That's exactly what we have seen. That allows the developers to or admin to choose the any account as a parent account for an existing one. Parent account for an existing one, which is called as a self-relationship. Take a notes of it. Right, so let's move on. Next one is a master detail relationship. For master detail relationship is nothing but lookup relationship is nothing but it's a loosely coupled one. So it's not necessary, right? If it is not required, checkbox is not enabled. It's not necessary that lookup relationship is always mandatory. And it is loosely coupled. Whenever we delete a lookup relationship, the parent record is gets deleted, child records will be as it is. Only the values will be removed. Now, whereas master detail relationship is, it's a tightly bound relationship between the two objects. So once you implement a master detail relationship, you cannot remove, I mean, it's a tightly bound. That means you cannot even delete once it is linked. Self-relationship, this is the one. Now, for example, this is the client. So inside this client, we have a parent account. Parent client is there, right? So if you want to create any other, for example, we have a student's record, student object. Inside this, you can create a one more self-relationship.
Classes come in, you enter the meeting ID and password last. You won't get first. You last is there na read more. You click on last ID password.
So if you go to the customers, right? So inside these customers, or not these customers, let's go to the another customer. Click on this customer. Let's open this. Now inside these customers, now for example, you have this customers report. Sometimes customers are coming as a reference also. So in that case, what you can do is you can create a self-relationship. How do you create a self-relationship? Same how you create a lookup relationship, exactly the same. Click on this edit object. When you click on the edit object, it will go to the object, customers object. Inside that customer object, click on a fields and relationship. Click on the new button. Select the lookup relationship. And let's go here, click on the next. And you have an object called customers. Right, so there are two customers out there. I hope this one. Now let's see. So this is the customer object. There is a no other relationship. In the lookup relationship only, you have to create a self relationship. Click on this next. Parent, customer. Now click on this next. Click on the next button, click on the next button, and then save. Now, if I go to the customer record, I'll be able to see the parent customer, which is a self lookup. Parent customer. Now, if I click on this parent customer, let me do one thing. Let me change this object name. Edit. Custom customers. Click on this save. Fields and relationship. Let's go to the lookup relationship. Parent, click on this. Edit. No, I cannot change this. Now I'll cancel this. Let me create a new one. Click on new. Lookup relationship, click on the next button. Here it is a customer, custom customers. Here this is the custom customers. Click on the next button. Click on next. And the next, and click on the next button and let's save it. View all custom Okay, so this is the one. Inside this, we have another field which is called as a custom customers. Let's refresh the lightning page. Now we have received the custom customers. Now in this case, let me switch to the classic. Fine. So this is the custom customers. Click on this. And here Devika is there. Devika is linked to the Anita. So Anita has referred Devika. So this is how self-relationship. Now if you click on the hierarchy, no hierarchy is available in the lightning. If you click on the hierarchy, it is going to show you that now this is the Anita is report Devika. Now if you go to the Anita related list, now here you can see the customers. Devika is there. So self-relationship is exactly same as how you create a lookup relationship. There is no relation. There is no different option for the self-relationship. Clear? Praveen, is that clear? Okay. So let's move on. So master detail relationship. Master detail relationship is nothing but it's a tightly coupled, tightly bound relationship. That means once we link the parent and child, we cannot delete the parent record. So let's see the use case of it. Let's say here we need to configure we have an object. Let's say we have an object, candidate object. Let's see, do we have a candidate object? Candidate object is not there. So what I'll do is I'll create a candidate object. Candidates is the new object which I'm going to create it. Now click on this create custom object. Now right now what I'm going to do is I have a position object, right? So candidate has to apply that position object. So this is the candidate object and this is the position object. Position object. From the candidate, I need to create a parent lookup relationship. I need to create a one field master detail relationship, which is looking at the position. So whenever candidate is applying for any position, it is a mandatory that person has to link the position here. Person has to link the position. Without linking the position, we should not be creating the candidate record. Now I'm going to create a candidate object inside the Salesforce. Let's go ahead and create. So this is the candidate. Candidates. Let's take the auto number instead of this text. Let's take the auto number. Let's say here CID hyphen 000, and the starting number has to be a 1. Let's say allow reports, allow activities, track the field history, allow in charter group, and then also create a tab for this. Click on this save. Now tab style. I need to choose candidates. Let's choose that and click on the next button. And after that, let's click on the next button and click on save. Now candidates object is created. Now we have a candidate name. Now instead of a candidate name, if you want to change the label name of this, now candidate name which is created, but if you wanted to change any other name, let's say instead of candidate name, you wanted to place it as a reference ID. Now change it here, reference ID or a candidate number. Let's say candidate ID. Click on save. Now I can create a what is the candidate name. So candidate name has to be a text. Now let's take the text field. Create a next button. Let's say here candidate name and length, let's say that maximum 20, and click on this next button. Let's say next, save and new. Now next candidate, from where he is coming, what is the location, the candidate location. So let's take the pick list field which is called as a location. Click on the next button. Let's say candidate location is now let's use the values here, Hyderabad, Pune, Mumbai, it's a Bangalore and Chennai, right? So we will be adding the location here and then click on the next button. Click on next. And also we wanted to understand what is the candidate qualification. Candidate qualification. The candidate qualification is whether it is a BTech or MTech or what is the qualification. Let's take it as a text. Click on the next button. Now let's say here qualification. And let's say 50 or 10 digits. Let's click on next button. Click on the next button. Save and new. And also we need to understand what is the previous experience of the candidate. Previous experience of the candidate. Now click on the next button. Previous experience. Experience, let's say 10 digits. Click on the next. Now click on the next button. Save and new. Now Also, we would like to collect what is the current CTC. What is the current CTC? Click on this next button. Let's collect the current CTC. Right, so let's leave it as a 50 and then 4 digits. Right, then click on the next button. It has to be 3 digits and total has to be 18 digits. Let's make it as if this is a required field for the candidate. So they need to provide the current CTC. Click on the next button and save and next. And what is the expected CTC? Also, what is the expected CTC? That is also currency. Let's take the currency. Click on the next button. Expected CTC. Expected is 15 and 3 digits. This is also mandatory. We need that. Click on the next button and click on next. Let's give all the fields access. No. Then we wanted to collect what are the contact number, the phone number and the email ID. I need to collect phone number and email ID. So this is the contact number. Contact number of the candidate. Let's say it's a mandatory. Click on the next button. Next, and then say new. Now here I'm going to create another one which is called as an email data type to collect the candidate email address. Email address. Now let's say here this is also required field. Click on the next button and then click on the next. Let's say save. Now let's go to the page layout. In the page layout, everything will be shown in the left side. Everything will be shown in the left side. Now I need to adjust, let's drag the section here. Let's say CTC information. CTC details, click on OK. Now in the CTC, I'm going to drag the current CTC and expected CTC. And also I'm going to create another section here. Contact details. Contact details. In the contact details, I'm going to place contact number, email address. Then we have a location, previous experience, qualification. Fine. Click on this save. No. Also, we need to create a between these two. I need to implement a relationship. Right now we have it. Let's go to the Salesforce. Now let's refresh. Now we have a candidate. Now if I click on the candidates new button, now it is going to show me the candidate name. Candidate name. Let's say the candidate name is Ruchita. And then previous experiences, let's say 2 years experience. Location is Hyderabad, qualification is BTech. Let's say BTech and current CTC, let's assume that around 1 lakh, and then it is expected. Maybe 10 lakhs she is expecting it. Now contact number, some contact number. And then email address, let's give some email address. Ruchita@gmail.com. Now click on save. Now, if I open the candidate record, I can see the CTC and contact details, and these are the main information in the detail section. In the detail section, I can see. Now, right now, I have a two individual object, candidate object and position object. I have a two individual objects. Now, this is the candidate. This is the candidate object. Now, let me place this candidate object this side. And also we have a position object. Let's take some position. Now let's say open the position record. We have a position Salesforce developer. Now this is a Salesforce developer. Click on the new button, and this is the Salesforce position. Now right now there is a no link is available between these two. Right now these two are individual. There is no linking is not yet implemented. We have not implemented any linking. Those two are right now individual objects. When they are individual objects, you see there is a owner field is there. There is a owner field. If you observe this, there is a owner field on the both the objects. Owner field on the both the objects. Why do we have a owner here? So owner is basically the responsible person. Whenever there is a record is created in the object, whenever the record is created in the object, who is the person will take care of that record? This owner will be taking care of that record. Owner will be the taking care of the record. So that's the reason whichever the object you go, the individual objects or a lookup relationship, whenever you go to the lookup relationship object or individual objects, mostly you will see that there is a owner is available. There is a owner is available. Owner is the responsible or who is going to work on that particular record is the person owner. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to implement a master relationship between the candidate and position object. Click on this new. Now here master detail relationship, click on the next button. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to implement a master detail relationship between the position object and candidate object. Click on the next button. Now find position and the candidates. Now here you have something called sharing settings. Something is available, sharing settings. Now this is important right now. So right now I'm not changing anything. Right now I'm not changing anything. Sharing setting is nothing but right now they are an individual object. They are individual object. Now, when they are individual object, sharing setting will be applied based on the owner, right? So based on the owner, it will be applied. But right now, whenever we implement a master detail relationship between the two objects, then what will happen? The child record owner will be removed from the child record. Owner will be removed from the child record. When the owner is removed, ultimately sharing is not available. Sharing will be available based on the owner. If you have an owner on the record, then the sharing settings, all the security will be applied. What are the sharing is available for that user profile, that the same sharing will be applied to the that particular record. Similarly, what are the access or anything which is available for that owner based on that record will be shared. Now, when the owner is removed, the sharing is also removed. So it is asking that, do you want the sharing setting whenever we are implementing a master detail relationship? On the child object, it is asking sharing setting. Select the minimum access level required on the master record to create, edit, delete record details. Now here it says by default, I am putting the read write. Read write allow users with at least read write access to the master record to create, edit, or a delete record details record. Right? It has a read edit. It has a read and edit. So that means, and right now I'm going to provide read write access to this particular record, whatever the based on the sharing rules are there. So based on the sharing rules. Now, when I say here, whose sharing rule is going to apply here? Okay, I'm saying here owner is not available here. Owner will be removed from the child object. But whose sharing will be applied? Sharing of the parent. Sharing of the parent will be applied to the child. When the sharing of the parent applied to the child, what kind of a access are you expecting it? Read write or only the read only? I'm just saying the read write. Click on the next button. And then click on next button. Page layout. Now, if I click on a save, save, it is going to throw me an error. It is going to give me an error. Cannot create a master detail relationship. Cannot create a master detail relationship. Why cannot we create a master detail relationship? You cannot create a new master detail relationship on an existing customer object if the records already exist. If the records already exist. Now I have a record on the candidate object. I have a record on the candidate object. Now, if I wanted to create a master detail relationship, there should not be any records on the object level. There should not be any records on the object level. But right now I have a record on the object level. Now, how can I do it? There are two ways which we can do it. Two ways which we can do it. One is you delete this record. Delete this record and then create a master detail relationship. Second step is maybe initially you need to create a lookup relationship. Instead of directly creating the master detail relationship, create a lookup relationship first and then provide the value to the lookup relationship, then convert the lookup relationship to the master detail relationship. So two options we have it. Let's see the observation. Now, observation is while mapping the master detail association, if the child object contains the record, then master detail association cannot be applicable. In case if the child object has a record, we cannot create a master detail relationship on the child object. Now, solution one is remove all the records from the child object permanently and then create a master detail relationship. Step 2 is first you create a lookup relationship. In order to implement a master detail relationship, first you need to implement a lookup relationship between the object. Then provide the parent value on the child record. Then convert once the child record is updated for all the records, then convert the relationship from the lookup to the master detail relationship. Two solutions are there. Solution one is directly you can delete all the records from the child object permanently, or else first create a lookup relationship. The second scenario is first create a lookup relationship and then make each child, whatever the records are there in the child object, all the child records, the lookup value has to be, the parent record has to be associated with the child. Then what we can do is once everything is updated, we can update the data type of the lookup relationship to the master detail relationship. So that is two solutions which are available. Take a notes of it. Done. Now let's go ahead. Now for now, what I'll do is I'll delete the record. From the candidate object. Now click here to return the previous page. And click on the new button. Master detail relationship, click on the next. And I'm going to choose the position object. Click on the next button. Field name is as stays. Now sharing is I'm doing this. Now the next one we have a allow reparenting. Now in case if the child records can be reparenting to the other parent record after they created. Right now I'm not checking anything here. Click on the next button. Click on next. Click on the next button. Save. Now there is a master detail relationship is created. Master detail relationship is created on the candidate object. Now let's open this candidate object, refresh. Now click on a new button. Now let's go ahead and create it. One record. Let's take the candidate name is Lata. And previous experience, let's say 2 years, qualification is BTech. And location is Hyderabad, position is, let's say, Salesforce developer. Current CTC is 40 lakhs or 4 lakhs. 40 lakhs, and then expected is a 60 lakhs. And contact number, let's give them contact number, email address is lata@gmail.com. Now let's click on a save. Once the record is saved, now if you observe the previous record and current record. Now previous record is there is a owner. There was a owner on the candidate object, but right now you see there is a no owner. When the relationship was not there, when it is an independent object or there is a single object, it is relationship is not yet implemented. Master detail relationship is not yet implemented. Now, when it is not implemented, we could see that there was a owner field is there. Now, as soon as the master detail is implemented, we cannot see the owner field on the record level. So that means owner field will be deleted from the child object. Now, whatever the sharing rules are there for the parent object, that's the same sharing rules will be applied to the child object. That's the same sharing rule is applied to the child object. So basically for master detail relationship, sharing rules says that controlled by parent. Controlled by parent. We will see that further going on, but right now there is no individual object level sharing for the master detail relationship. Child objects are always depending on the parent. That means it is controlled by the parent sharing settings. Now, right now we have linked the Salesforce developer. Now, if I click on this Salesforce developer, now if I try to delete this Salesforce developer, now let me clone this record. Let's clone it. Click on a save. Now this is the Salesforce developer record. Now click on this related. Now we have a candidate. One candidate is linked to this position. Now what I'll do is I'll try to delete this record. I'll try to delete this record. If I try to delete this record, what happened? It is deleted. It is deleted. But what happened to the child? What happened to the child? Now, if I refresh this candidate 002, child records also deleted. It deleted the parent record and child record. Both the records are deleted. Now, if I go and see in the recycle bin, can I see both parent and child? In recycle bin, I can see that only the parent record is available. Child records we cannot see. Child records we cannot see. For master detail relationship, whenever the parent record is deleted, child records also gets deleted automatically. Child records are get deleted automatically. Now, if you revert this, now I'll click on this. Let's click on this, restore it. Now, what will happen if I restore it? Let's go to the candidates. Now, child record is restored. Child record is restored, and then position record is also restored. And if I go to the related list, now I can see that there is a candidate is there. Now, master detail association is one-to-many association. One parent can be linked to multiple child records. One parent can be linked to multiple child records. So that's another observation. Now, second one is whenever we are creating candidate record, that means whenever we are creating the child record, while creating the child record, it has to always associate the parent record. Without association, we cannot create it. Now, for example, if I clone this, okay, let's give this some different name here. Let's say Suman, right? So Suman, I'm giving it and I'm not providing the position. Now I'll click on a save. When I click on a save, what it says, it is saying that position is mandatory. That means you cannot create a child record without a parent record. So while creating the child record, lookup field is each child record should be associated to the parent record. There is no way that. And the next one is, for example, if I'm changing the, for example, this is the parent record. Now this parent record is created, right? Now this record is created, child record is created. And I have updated while creating, I have provided the Salesforce developer. Now let's suppose if I wanted to update the Salesforce developer to the Salesforce admin. This candidate is initially applied for the Salesforce developer. Now I wanted to change, the candidate would like to change the Salesforce developer to the Salesforce admin. Now when they go for a Salesforce admin, now I wanted to update. Whenever we wanted to update a field, we will see inline editing. We will see inline editing there. But here you cannot see any inline editing for the master detail relationship. That means reparenting option is not available. Reparenting option is not enabled by default. By default, it is not enabled. If we want to enable, the reparenting, then there is an option called, while creating the field, we have an option that we have seen. Now let's go to the field master detail relationship, click on this master detail relationship, and then I click on the edit. Right, so we have in here allow reparenting. Allow reparenting. Now this allow reparenting, if I check this, child records can be reparented to the another parent record after they created. If I click on the save button. Now let's go ahead and refresh. Now we can see there is a inline editing is available on this. Right now I can see the inline editing. Now if I click on this inline editing, I can delete this developer and I can add the admin, click on the save. Click on the save button. So third observation is reparenting option. By default, it is not available. If admin or a developer wants to enable the reparenting, then what we have to do is we have to enable the allow reparenting option while creating the or editing the master detail field. Now, another one which we have seen is whenever we are deleting the parent record, all the child records will get deleted automatically by default. Right? So that is which we have seen right now. Right? Initially, we have deleted the parent record. Child associated child records will be also deleted. And then sharing setting or a security settings of these child records is purely depending on the parent record. Take a notes of it. Okay. And few more observations which we have seen is in master detail association, parent record contains the owner field, but child record does not contain the owner field. That means parent record owner will get the ownership of the child records. Ownership of the child records. Now, an object can have a maximum of 2 master detail relationship. So lookup relationship, how many we can create a lookup relationship? How many can we create a lookup relationship? Fields. So whereas here master detail relationship, only 2 master detail relationship we can create it. Only maximum limit is per object is 2 master detail relationship. And for master detail relationship, only 2 is the limit which we can create it. Now, if you wanted to know what are the how many master detail relationship can I create it on this object? Right, if you go to the object limits, active lookup filter, okay, right now this is not showing here. Fine. So for example, right now for master detail relationship, we have created the master detail relationship, right, on between the candidate and position object. Now, if you click on the new button, we can see the role of summary field. We can see the role of summary field, which is implemented on, we can implement on the master detail relationship, not on the child object, on the parent object. If you go to the parent object, position, if you go to the position object, now if you click on the new button, we can see that there is a role of summary field is enabled. This gets enabled only when you have a master detail relationship is created, and you can only see the enable role of summary for the parent object, not on the child object. You cannot create on the child object. Parent object, you will see if the relationship is a master detail relationship, then only the role of summary field is gets enabled. Otherwise, it will be disabled. Now, if you create a role of summary field, you can create it right now. Role of summary is basically, it is going to give you the whether you wanted to submit or maximum, what is the thing. So for example, I wanted to see the count of candidates. Count of candidates. Click on next button. Now this is summarize is a candidates. Now I wanted to see the count, or I wanted to see the sum of it. Sum of what, current CTC or expected CTC, or do you wanted to see the minimum current CTC, minimum expected CTC, or do you wanted to see the maximum? Who is the maximum current CTC? Let's say I wanted for a current count of the records, and the filter criteria, all the records should be included in the calculation. Only the record meeting criteria. If you want to specify any meeting criteria, then you can specify the meeting criteria here. Otherwise, all the records included in the count. Now click on a save. Click on next. And let's save this. Now if I go to the position object, let's go to the position, and we have a Salesforce admin. Now inside the Salesforce admin, there is a field that is gets created. Count of candidates. Now count of candidates is right now 1. There is 1 candidate is linked. For example, if I create another candidate, let's clone this. Clone it, let's create another candidate. Let's say here, sign. Click on this save. What is the value does not exist, does not match with the filter criteria. Now let me create a new record. Candidates, new. Let's say Sai. And the location is, let's give it to Mumbai. And position is Salesforce admin. Previous experience is 1 year. Qualification is, let's say, BSc. And current CTC, some current CTC, expected some. And contact number, let's say email address, sai@. gmail.com. Click on save. Variable does not match with our filter criteria. What is the filter criteria that I have? We have created the filter criteria on let's remove the filter criteria on the position object. Let's go to the position and hiring manager. Let's click on edit. Now, whatever this filter criteria is, let's remove this here. Click on save. Click on save. Now it's get created. Now Salesforce admin has a two candidates. So that is the roll-up summary field. That is roll-up summary field. So roll-up summary field can be applicable on the master detail object. And in the master detail relationship, now yesterday we have seen that standard object should not be always be parent. It should not be child object. Standard object should not be a child object. Now that means if you have a object here, now if you have a two objects, let's say this is the custom object. Right, so this we have these objects. Now, whenever we have this information, for example, custom object to custom object, both are custom object. Custom object to custom object. And let's say custom object to the standard object. Custom object to the standard object. This is one, and from the standard object to the standard object to the standard object, and then we have a custom object. No, this is the now this one is a child object and this is a parent. Whatever we have, this is a parent and this is a child. Now for master detail relationship, if it is a custom object, child is a custom object and parent is also a custom object, then you can implement a master detail relationship. If the child is a custom object and parent is a standard object, you can implement a master detail relationship. But if your child is a standard object, if your child is a standard object, you cannot implement master detail relationship between these two. Parent could be anything, but if you have a standard object as a child, you cannot implement a master detail relationship, which is not possible. Which is not possible. That is the another scenario. Right, so we have seen the candidate and the position object between this. What we have done is we have implemented a relationship between these two as a master detail relationship. Now take a notes of the previous observation. taken the notes. Okay. Now, this standard object, if it is a child object, we cannot implement a master detail relationship. For example, let me go to the standard object, which is the account object. If I go to the account object, where is the account? It's a client object. And this is the account object. If I go to the account object, now you cannot see the click on a new button. You cannot see the master detail relationship data type itself. We cannot see on the standard object. We cannot see the master detail relationship on the standard object. By default, it will open up the role of summary field, but there will be master detail relationship field is data type you cannot see on the standard object. So that's the reason if your child object is a standard object, you cannot implement a master detail relationship for this. Now let's go ahead. Now let's see the use case. Now this is we have implemented. Now let's see the differences between the master and lookup relationship. Master detail relationship and the lookup relationship. Every child record must have a parent. Without a parent, you cannot create a child record. Whereas in lookup relationship, it is optional. It is not every time not mandatory that you have to always associate the lookup relationship, right? And here, master detail relationship is sharing setting and security setting of the child record is purely depending on the parent record. Sharing setting is completely depending on the parent record. Now here, there won't be any dependency, no impact on the security. If the child object is having a security, it will work as it is. If the parent object has a different security, it will work as it is. There is no impact on the security if we implement a lookup relationship. Now, master detail relationship is roll-up summary field is on parent object. Now here, roll-up summary field we cannot create it. And the standard object cannot be detail object. Standard object cannot be in the child object. Here, no restriction. Standard object cannot be in the child object, and here it is no restriction. Take a notes of it. Okay. Assignment, configure the master detail relationship between the student and department object. List out all the observations. And the second assignment is configure the master detail relationship between the patient and account object. Patient and account object and list out all the observations. These are the two assignments, take notes of it. Okay, so let's move on to the interview questions. How to reparent the master detail? Lookup field on the chair record. How many master detail relationship can be created per object? And differences between the lookup relationship and master detail relationship. Can admin implement a master detail relationship between the two objects? Now here account is the parent and branch is the child. What will happen if admin create a master detail relationship when there are records on the object? Can admin delete the parent record of the master detail relationship? What are the, this is, we have not covered it, this we will take it later. Till sixth questions. Take it till sixth questions. What will happen if parent record is deleted? What is the error meaning? What is the meaning of this error? Cannot create master detail relationship. And these are the questions. That's all for today.